agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone.
I don't think that I'm live streaming.
Oh, I think it says you are live streaming.
It's just now.
Oh, okay.
There we go. All right. Now I'm good.
Now you're good. Okay. All right. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Warren T. Jackson's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team, so only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the Go Team, please identify yourself when you speak. I forgot to turn my camera on, so I'm doing that now. I'm pleased to call this meeting of the Warren T. Jackson Go Team to order at 3:02. And our first order of business is to call roll. So Ms. Sprinkle, as secretary, will you please take roll?
Yes. Good afternoon. Please respond present when your name is called. Allison Atwell. I know she's present. Natalie Aid. Not here. Jesse.
Present.
Can you tell me how to pronounce your last name, please?
Chai like the tea.
Perfect. Thank you. Present. Lauren Jones.
Present.
Kim Macrat.
Present.
Rayleigh Wren.
Present.
Ben Hill.
Present.
Isabel York. I saw,
Present.
we know she's here. Jill McDougall.
I think Jill said she was going to be late. She just texted me. Yep.
So no Natalie Aid. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sprinkle. This team will only be able to take official action if there is a quorum present. Ms. Sprinkle, is there a quorum present?
Yes.
Also, I'm echoing. Does somebody have two computers on? Oh. Okay. So yes, there is a quorum present, Ms. Sprinkle?
Yes.
Perfect. Great. So then our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are in your inbox. Are there any changes to the agenda? May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve. This is Jesse.
Thank you.
Lauren Jones, second.
Thank you.
Great. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Please say abstain. Okay, fantastic. No opposed, no abstentions. Okay, then we will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you also in your email. Are there any corrections? Nope. Okay, if there are no corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Hill.
Any seconds?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, all opposed, please say nay. Okay, any abstentions, please say abstain. Nope. Okay, all right, Ms. Sprinkle, you have that down for the count.
Yes, thank you so much. That was the smoothest it's ever went in Go Team. Job well done, Miss York. Thank you.
Oh gosh, it's a team effort. Okay, so our first action item is the 2025 to 2030 strategic plan development. So I think with that, I will pass it to Miss Atwell.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah, you can hear me.
Yes.
Can you shut my door real quick? I didn't shut my off. Sorry. started hearing people coming. Okay. All righty. Hello, everybody. We're going to go through the slideshow that I built out. Through to the discussion items, which is going to be our strategic plan development. Okay. The first we're going to review is the
Is it just me or is Miss Atwell's audio a little?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
audio
she's
was
going out.
glitching.
Yeah, same here.
You sounded great at the beginning.
No, I don't know what's going on. I do have a new speaker. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Just bear with me. All right, so we are Atlanta Public School System. Why we exist is to educate students to shape the future. Okay. So part of the meeting is to show.
It's not going any better.
Are you wearing a speaker, Allison? Are you wearing a microphone?
No, I'm not wearing a microphone.
Oh, you look like you were wearing one.
I do not own a microphone, but all right. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and
Tentatively.
Yes.
All right. So this is the whole purpose of today is kind of, we always do strategic planning at this meeting. We begin that process. And they have changed the format of the strategic plan. So what we'll be working on in the next few meetings is to take our strategic plan that we currently have and update it so that we create a strategic plan that goes to 2030. And the way it's going to look is also going to be different, but that's kind of neither here nor there. But it is the way we are structuring and creating is the process is a bit different in terms of the expectations set around it. So this is the district's strategic plan. The big message is that we are a community of believers getting back to basics. And the highlights are our strength is our team, our responsibility is shared, and our system is efficient and effective. The way we're doing that is we are strengthening our instructional core, we are caring for every child, and we are sparking student curiosity. Beneath all of those are more drills down to more specific action steps and things that the district plans to do in the next several years until 2030. All right, so here are the goals and the key performance indicators in the district strategic plan. First one is by 2030, we will increase the percentage of third grade students scoring proficient or above in ELA on the milestones by 20 percentage points. The second one is by 2030, we'll increase the percentage of eighth grade students scoring proficient or above in math by 20 percentage points. And the third one is by 2030, we will increase the percentage of students meeting at least one CCRPI college and career readiness indicator by 20 percentage points. Okay, so here are kind of where we are right now. And these are all indicators from CCRPI. So you can see absenteeism is 68.8%, meaning that means that over 30% of our students are chronically absent currently in this district. Sense of belonging is the percentage of students who feel a sense of belonging. It's at 60%. They want it to be at 75%. In 2030, we are at 89.6% of students without suspensions. That's out of school suspensions, and they want us to get to 95%. Discipline of students with disabilities, 83.5% of students with disabilities do not have suspension. They want it to get to 95%. Black students, 86.4% of Black students are without suspensions, and they want to get that to 95%. the state does a climate survey for students in grades 3 and up, and the student-staff relationship, 56% of students feel comfortable going to most or all of the adults in the school for help. They want to get that to 75%. Student success plans, that's the percentage of students with individual success plans at 0%. That's not something that we've done in this district, so they want to get that to 90%. Whoops, excuse me. And then school climate, the percentage of schools that with a 4 or a 5-star climate rating is only 19% in our district, and they want to get it to 50%. So this format is what we are going to then kind of replicate for Jackson.
Could I ask, this is Ben, could I ask just one quick question? Is this, and it's more just background around the targets and data, who set the targets, and then is there a report that they track kind of annual progress against that, so we know kind of how we're trending and how we're looking at, say, next year or the year
Yes, it's
after as we
all,
work
so
towards 2030?
the superintendent sets those, like he is responsible for setting those, so he sets those with his team.
Okay.
The board approves them. And yes, we have what we call APS graphs. So I have access to APS graphs, and there's a public APS graphs where you can see all of the data of our district for many, many things. So that is all tracked by our data strategist and our data team.
Okay, and that's available publicly online. I can search
Yes.
for that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I can send you the link, the public link, after this. Okay,
Okay,
so
thank you.
at the top of, we're going to start at the bottom of the triangle, the inverted triangle, and obviously the mission and the vision of an organization should drive the strategic goals. And then from that, the focus areas, objectives, key performance indicators, strategies, actions, those are all put in place and written to then support the strategic goals we set, which then support the mission and the vision. So this is the mission and vision strategic goals that the district sets. They're always around literacy, numeracy, and then college and career readiness. The kind of like the focus areas generally are, around instructional, of course, instructional and academic goals, but also around the social emotional goals and the other parts of the school system that impact that, like attendance. And then the strategies and actions, those are like all the different supports that we would have in place within the school system and the school to then support all of the goals we set. So we move. Okay. So the Go Team for focus is kind of today, we're going to go through and talk about what our purpose is, what we do, what is our picture for the future, what results do we want it to satisfy our stakeholder needs, and what are the main focus areas for our work, and what continuous improvement activities are needed to get results. Okay, here's the school strategic planning overview. The purpose is to cascade the district's strategic plan to the school level while grounding our focus in the school's continuous improvement plan. This will create alignment, reduce confusion, and simplify our efforts. Our school's 2030 strategic goals and objectives have to be updated and ranked by January of 26. And schools will focus on the strategies as part of the 2027 budget and CIP process. Okay. So 3 key resources to review today. We're going to be reviewing our current strategic plan, which is on our Go Team website. The current some continuous improvement plan goals, which are the goals that we create here at the school. We created those before the school year begins based on our data. And then the CPI that the district has provided for our school, they provided it for every school. So it's like the key performance indicators, and they are directly, all of these things that you're about to see are directly aligned with what the district is using, what the district used to set their own, the entire district strategic plan. All right, so the whole planning process is to review data, make sure the mission and vision is aligned, confirm the 2030 goals. So we create CIP goals to 2030, identify additional goals, identify the objectives, and approve your strategic plan and rank your strategic objectives for 27. Obviously, like that's what we will do over the period of the next several meetings. Okay, so today the focus is review data, align, make sure our school's mission is aligned, and confirm the goals that we have set, the CIP goals, which I've already set, and just confirm the goals with you all today and identify if there's any additional goals.
Allison, may I ask a question? This is Natalie.
Sure.
Oh, you sound so enthusiastic. I promise I'm not going to take long. Is this whole process just from is this process helpful to you as leading the school in reality?
This process is required by the state for us to be a charter school system. So it's part of the process. Before this, we had what was called a local school council, which operated similarly, but, this is a little bit more of a formal process with the Roberts rules and everything. So
yes.
it is a more formal process to do strategic planning. But at the same time, I do this anyway. So for me, This is just really an opportunity for me to present what our data, what I believe our goals are, and then for obviously the Go team to give input to help me change anything that needs to be changed, add anything, do all of that, and then approve it. And that way we as a school, we have done our due diligence to make sure that this is not just something that's coming from me, but from the community, the greater community of parents and teachers.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to look at our KPI, which is really interesting. And those of you that are on the Go team, you have this, and so that you might be able to look at it better from the PDF that was sent. So I was given this, and basically it has the key performance indicator, meaning the data right now, and then it sets the goal for us for 2030. So it kind of does some of the work for us. Now, if you ask me how they get to the goal percentage, I can't answer that. So if that you're wondering that is a wondering I have too, and I just need to get that information. I should have that for the next meeting, but I actually am not really clear on how they got to the percentage that they got. But so you can see at the top, to align with the big district's goal, which was around third grade reading, they have set a KPI goal for us. So currently in third grade last year, we are at 78.1% proficiency and above. So they have set the goal for us to be at 87.0 by 2030. So that's a 8.9 point jump. They also, some of the things that the district has in their strategic plan are around strengthening the instructional core. So they have kindergarten ELA based on the GKIDS, which is this Georgia state data collection that all the kindergarten teachers do. So if you have had a kindergartner, you've seen those reports, and it's got many different components, and the teachers, assess the student's ability on all of those and then give them a rating on each one. Then we have subgroup proficiency for Black students and students with disability on the milestones, and that's proficient or above. For Black students, this is both ELA and math. We were at 47.7%, and they want us at 73.7%. And with students with disabilities, we are at 31%, and they want us to be at 41% by 2030. For growth, so that's when they measure fourth and fifth graders get a growth score based on, the previous year's milestones. So for Black students, 67.9% of our students last year made typical or high growth. And we would like to be at 78.6 in 2030. Our students with disability were at 69.4% for growth, and we want to get to 80.1%. For our economically disadvantaged students, they were at 73.2% for growth, and we would like them to be at 83.9% by 2030. And our English language learners, and this is based not on the milestone score, this is based on the access test that students who are identified as English language learners and qualify for that support and program. On the access, we had 87.5% made typical or high growth. And if you notice, they didn't increase that for 2030 because that score, I think, is so high that I guess they did not feel like there was an opportunity to have growth there. We are caring for every child. We have attendance, chronically absent. We have really good attendance. Last year, it was really, Ms. Leaves really worked hard on our attendance, and it went up a couple percentage points. So attendance goal is going up at 2030 to 94%. So it's not even a full percentage point up. Students without suspensions, you can see we're at 99. So that's not a change for us for 2030. We want to maintain that. For Black students without suspension are 97.6. So that is slight, not even a percentage point. They want us to be up in 2030. Students with disability, 92% were not suspended last year. They want us to get up to 98.5% without suspensions. Student staff relationship. This is based on that climate survey that third through fifth graders take here at Jackson. Dr. C usually administers that to the students. 63.2% said that they feel comfortable going to most or all of the adults in the school for help. And the district would like to see us at 84% by 2030. And then we have a current school climate star rating of a 4, and they want us to maintain that. All right, so beyond the core, beyond the core is music, art, PE, and Spanish, I think, are all part of that. So 99.6% of our students are enrolled in those courses, and they want it to go up 1/10 of a point by 2030. Staff engagement, we have 75.4% of staff engaged. They would like it to be 87% by 2030. That is also based on the climate survey that staff and teachers take. Usually they take the exact same time that parents and students are offered the opportunity to take that. Teacher experience, they just want us to maintain. We have 97.5% of our staff has more than 3 years of experience. Teacher compensation, our teacher compensation average at Jackson is $94,221. They would like, us to be at $100,000 by 2030. Family engagement support and student success, percentage of favorable responses to supporting student success. We had 85.7% of the responses were supportive. We want to get to 90. Parent portal, this is the percentage of students that have parent portal access. We have 83.9% of our parent, or at least one parent, that has access to Infinite Campus. They want us to get it to 85% by 2030. So student perception of safety, 80.1% of our students feel very safe or extremely safe. And they want that to be at 90 by 2030. And then our enrollment currently is 457, and they want us to maintain 450 or higher. Any questions about the key performance indicators?
So just a question, the goals are for 2030 are top down, right? From the district to us as the school to try to
Yes.
reach, right?
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Are there, whenever, and this is me not necessarily, again, being as familiar with the process, but of the, call it 20 or 25 metrics on this page, are there 2 or 3 that jump out to people as really concerning or unrealistic to hit the goal that we're at, and like that we need to try to focus on a plan or objective to get there? Because this just feels like a lot to try to focus on.
I think our data actually, I mean, a lot of them are to maintain. So, to me, no, not at all. It's just me, but I think that some of them are going to be hard to meet, but, some of them, no, I don't think so. I mean, at Jackson, typically we kind of just maintain, so there's always a little bit of room for growth, but we never dip really low. Some of these subgroup things can go up and down. So those are always focuses for us, our Black subgroups, our economically disadvantaged subgroups, our students with disabilities. And you have to figure from year to year, they're different cohorts of children because, the 5th graders leave and then you get new ones and we have new students coming in. So they fluctuate up and down. Some of the subgroup goals are maybe a tad lofty, but it's not unattainable.
Okay,
And
that's
then
helpful.
I saw literacy called out as a specific goal, but in the overall proficiency numbers, that's where numeracy is also included in strengthening the
Yeah.
core for all
So this is
students.
the KPIs, but you'll see on the strategic plan goals that I have, the CIP goals I've already written, we include numeracy too. I drill down into that as well.
Okay, got it. Okay,
So,
thanks.
I think that is probably one of the biggest ones, is to go from, 78% proficient in 3rd grade to 87. I mean, we've definitely been in the 80s at Jackson, but 87 is totally attainable, but like that is also a lot of work to do, and we're perfectly capable of it. We haven't been in the 80s since like 19, I think, but that's the goal, is always to get back up. So.
Okay, thank you. Very helpful.
Do you think the new curriculum for ELA will help?
We have all new standards, so we have new standards and a new curriculum. So we're working hard to make that program work for our new standards. And, our teachers have so much background and knowledge, that they're doing a great job. So, yes, I think the program is good, but I also know that what drives instruction is always the Georgia standards. So we don't rely totally on, the new program that we've adopted for ELA and reading to bring our scores up.
Ms. Atwell, sorry if you answered this question before, but do you have this information for other schools in the district to compare from like a parity standpoint, like where we're doing in terms of like what our 2030 goals are versus Morningside or another school, right?
So these are just like, so you have to remember that these are just great examples of potential goals that the district has set. So we use these then to set our goals, and all of the Go teams are required. So you can go to any school's website and find their Go team meeting presentations, their recorded videos. So you can always go and look at all those.
Yeah.
I do have access to everybody's KPI. But while you know, when we get our milestone scores and all of those things, I can see them in APS graphs. I haven't spent a lot of time looking at anybody else's because although, you know, we always do compare ourselves and, you know, to each other, or the community does, like I try to stay focused on what Jackson needs to do and not worry, you know, as much what maybe Morris Brandon's doing or Sarah Smith.
Yeah, it
Unless
just seems that we're already operating at a high level, right? So I'm just, you know, the push to get to, you know, 26 points on some of these subgroups, right? Like, is that what other people are being asked to do as well?
But we've definitely been much higher in our subgroups before.
Okay.
We have been. And like I said, the cohorts change, the children change, like, you know, it's a lot of comparing sometimes apples to oranges because we're always moving in a whole new group of children that's being assessed on milestones. So it really does change by the profile of every student in every grade. And the entire grade level is new every year when we take the milestones because the third graders are new and it's the first time, and then with the fifth graders have gone out. But you know, the Midtown cluster schools, Midtown elementary schools, they all outperformed us last year on the milestones for the most part. Or, you know, we could drill down by grade level, and I think we were higher than some in specific grade levels. But when you look at the entire school, those Midtown schools were all higher than us. And Morris, Brandon, and Jackson have very similar data.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. So this is the district's mission, who we are. We are Atlanta Public School System to educate and empower Atlanta students to shape the future. This is our mission. And just to give you a little background on our mission, we wrote this, not this last time that we were reauthorized, but the time before. Ms. Sprinkle was on that team. Ms. Mack, I don't know if you were, or Ms. Wren, I don't know if you were, but we had a team of parents, PTO, Go Team, and we got together to redo our mission. And it was actually Ms. Sprinkle's input and idea that we really needed to get the voice of the students to write this. So this mission was actually basically written or put together by adults based on what the kids said. So our school's mission is through a caring community. Our goal at Warren T. Jackson Elementary School is to challenge and prepare students to be independent thinkers, kind citizens, and passionate learners who are ready to change the world. So, do we feel that our current school mission aligns with the district's? Any feedback on that?
I think it does. I still like it.
Yes, I think it's great. I was on that committee to do that, and we really did take the kids' voices and we put it together so nicely, and I really like it. I think it's great.
I do too.
I agree.
I know one of the things that like the Go Team, you know, had the Go Team office was that having the Go Team like rewrite visions or missions. And personally, that is not anything that I would want us as a Go Team to do, because we don't, while we all have children and you all have children at the school who are parents, but that is something that I think really needs to come from the kids. So I would never want to really do that as a Go Team. I would want to do it in a different format than during Go Team. And I do feel like our mission is awesome. And at this time, I don't feel like it needs to be changed.
How often, quick question, would you present it maybe to the kids to make sure that the mission is still in alignment with what the kid community wants?
We haven't done it in a while, so I don't really have a timeline on it. So, I mean, that's something we could always do as a school, is check in with our kids. So that's something we can do, but we haven't done it in 6 years.
So maybe that's something that we can consider, because I agree with you, Ms. Atwell, and coming from the kids. So just maybe having a timeline on when, as you know, we have groups that transition out, the needs and the kids and opinions can change. So just a thought.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good thought, something to think about. Okay, so now we're going to confirm our 2030 goals, and I'm going to show you what I have so far. So here are the continuous improvement goals. This is from the CIP. Actually, let me go here real quick. This is our current strategic plan. So it has the same SMART goals up here in yellow. And then, the mission is listed. And then it's got the APS strategic priorities, school strategic priorities, and the school strategies that would be used. Okay. So these are the current continuous improvement goals. By the end of the 25-26 school year, the percentage of 3rd through 5th grade students scoring at the proficient or distinguished levels in ELA on the Georgia milestones will increase from 76 to 81. Subgroup goal would be that subgroups Black students will increase from 53.3 to 50. I can't read that. 58.3, and students with disabilities will increase from 31% to 36%. So this is based on milestones from spring of 25, and these are the goals that we would like to reach for the milestone spring of 26. The second continuous improvement goal is by the end of 25-26, the percentage of 3rd grade students scoring proficient above in math will increase from 76% to 81%. And the subgroup goals would be for Black students to increase from 51.1% to 56.1%, and students with disabilities to increase from 31% proficient above to 36% proficient above. And then the third goal is for the CCR attendance rate will remain at or above 93%. By ensuring chronic absenteeism as determined by the state of Georgia does not exceed 10% of the days, 10% absent days for the students' enrollment period greater than 30 days. Okay, so using the continuous improvement goals and the CPI goal, the CPI, the key performance indicators that I just showed you, these are the strategic plan goals that I have created so far, and they are obviously up for feedback and response. So the first one is that by 2030, the percentage of students performing proficient or above on the ELA milestones in 3rd grade will increase from 78.1 to 87.0. I did not want to leave it as just 3rd grade, so I've added 4th and 5th grade in there. So 4th grade last year was at 74% proficient and above, and I set the goal at 83%. In 5th grade, we were at 76% proficient or above, and I set the goal at 86% for them. But those numbers, like I do want to find out a little bit more how they got from 78.1 to 87. So the percentage goals for 4th grade and 5th grade were possibly something that would be adjusted. Okay, and the second goal by 2030, the increase for math milestones. Oh my gosh, it's not there. It's missing, sorry. I'm going to set a goal around the math milestones for every grade level, and obviously it's not in there. Miss the numbers, and then the subgroup goal would be for, oh, this is the growth goal. Hold on, let me go back real quick to my KPI. Well, let's just go to the third one and then we'll fix that second one. All right, the third goal by 2030, the CCRPI attendance rate will remain at or above 94% by ensuring chronic absenteeism as determined by the state of Georgia. And then we will also, our subgroup focus would be to improve Blacks from 87% to 92% with less than 10% days absent. Okay. So let me go back. Does anybody have the KPI pulled up in front of them? They can tell me what the typical to high growth was for our school on the milestones? Mhm. Pull it up.
For our school, right?
So I think that for growth, it doesn't have our overall growth on this thing, but it does have our subgroups.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that goal should be around growth because I think, growth, proficient or above is, like I said, you're talking about different cohorts of children every year. But when you look at those growth goals, I mean, that doesn't matter which kids they are, it's how are we moving them. So that's why I really like a growth goal. Because no matter what and where a child is, it's about how far you can push them and
Right.
not necessarily about that proficiency. So that's why
I'm looking at the KPI. I don't see anything
It doesn't
specific
have
to
our
math though, right? Yeah.
No, isn't math on there? I want it to be around all of milestones, I think.
Oh,
ELA.
okay.
And I'll have to pull that from graphs, what our overall schools was for growth. But we can see that we need to focus on that subgroup where that the subgroup goal is good. I just need to add the graphs. Hold on, let me pull up APS graphs.
But this is specifically for
Mhm.
math.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
Go ahead, Ben.
Here we go.
Was that Ben?
Sorry, I was looking at I'm looking at the scorecard now for Jackson Elementary, and I was trying to understand connect the data from the distinguished goal and what we're seeing here, but the numbers don't seem to match up for me. So I'll
What are
hold
you
my
looking at?
comments. So for instance, like we scoring at proficient or distinguished levels. Okay, yeah, it
So
was
that's
70.
different than growth. So we want to look at how children grew. So from year to year. So that really looks at how the third graders, how they grow to fourth grade and the fourth graders grow to fifth grade. So it's not like it could be a child got a level 1 on the milestones, but when they took it again in fourth grade, they made typical or high growth. So they made, the growth that you would expect or more. So
Right.
it's
Okay.
not about so let me pull this up real quick.
Okay.
So in ELA, I do my math. 73% of our students made typical or high growth. Let me see. And then in
Is that
math,
what you said? 73? Is that what you said?
yeah.
Okay.
Math was not as good. So math, we were at 70. So I can write that goal around I could write it as, the percentage of students with typical high growth will go from, 71.5 to I need to get, how much do they do that? Like 81% high, typical or high growth. I mean, the numbers I can get the numbers and they can be correct, change, and we can look at it next time. But does everybody feel comfortable with the growth goals? Really really what we need to be thinking about. Is everybody comfortable with these goals? A goal around ELA for our school, a goal around growth for our school, and a goal around attendance and absenteeism for our school. That's kind of what the purpose is today, I've gone ahead and done this, but is that kind of the direction we want to go with our strategic plan goals?
And numeracies included in the growth goal too?
Yes. Yes.
I know we've got ELA kind of called out here.
Yeah.
On the milestones. Okay.
I think there's an opportunity to maybe change the attendance goal to something else since Jackson does have really good attendance. I think there could be opportunities somewhere else instead, but so that would be the only like goal that I would kind of challenge the
Okay,
other
well,
ones.
throw something out.
I know, I'm looking now.
Mhm.
I have one question, and this has been driven a lot, and I'm again not an expert or learning a lot on this process, but with the campus facilities process, I've gotten deep into school funding, incentives, and or penalties and eligibility, and like how we could gain access to more resources to help improve the school. So are there any
So that
financial incentives that are part of
so
the
that
whole
wouldn't
process?
be what we would do for goals. That would come later when we talk about like action steps to get to our goals.
Okay, but like if we hit a higher improvement on any of our scoring or performance or things like that, it wouldn't unlock like, hey, you're a superstar school type financial benefit or anything, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, they don't give us, they recognize us when we do really great, but they don't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think that is the second thing is there's either unlocking more resources financially for the school or like recognition and prestige for the school, and how we continue to build the brand of Jackson through some of these things. So I just wanted to think about that some.
Yeah. Well, that's why we want to maintain to our International Baccalaureate accreditation and our Cognia STEM accreditations. Those are two important things for us to maintain, not only because they're excellent programs that have huge impacts on academics, but they also have that, prestige, especially since it is very uncommon for schools to have both of those.
Do we need to have that as part of a potential goal? Are we?
No, that would not be this kind of goal. That would not be a goal. So our goals are bigger. They're kind of, we should have 2 academic achievement goals. And then we have to have one that is related to CCRPI, and more of like a whole child goal. So that's where attendance kind of falls into a whole child goal.
So Ms. Atwell, I'm thinking maybe the student staff relationships or even the teacher engagement ones, when we looked at the KPI, those could be 2 good opportunities for growth for Jackson.
Yeah, I had actually was thinking of the student engagement one but then in my CPI, it was already attendance, so I changed it. So we can definitely write one around student engagement.
The other big one I've been thinking about because of the campus facilities discussion is student enrollment. And I noticed that was the only one where we were already ahead of our 2030 target. Like, is it a goal to try to show growth or improve as we show the prestige and try to increase enrollment for the school?
No, because that's not something that we really have a ton of control over.
I think just one last thought on that. I think to Lauren's point about the student engagement piece, I'm just trying to like look at it on my other screen now. I'm surprised that it's low, right? Like I think that there's something to be said for thinking through like what we can do, like whether it's an official goal or not, like what are the things that are making it that number, and what are some drivers that we can
Yeah.
help with?
It is something that I talked about recently in a team meeting with some support staff. We talked about it. So how many of you in your work do any type of Gallup survey?
Like a culture survey?
Like,
Yeah,
do
we
you?
do. We do
I
culture
do.
surveys all the time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is kind of the climate survey that the kids take. So, you know, it's based on their perception in that moment that they are in. And so, you know, it's interesting. We do a Gallup survey for our staff, and then we also do this climate survey. The staff and the teachers all do that, as well as parents, and the students do it. So there are always, I mean, as you know, like those surveys mean something because it's the perception of the kids and that moment, and what do we need to do around that. So I do think that needs to be much higher. And again, though, what we know about those surveys is it's how you feel in that moment. So, or if you like your teacher this year, or if, you know, maybe you got in trouble today, or like with the staff, if they're mad at me today, you know, like, so it can be very much based on, it just takes one incident, right? And then as a parent, as an employee, as a student, you get that survey, and it definitely can impact your answers. However, I do think that was a really low score for us as a school. And I do think that is something that I can write a goal around. Ms. Sprinkle, I feel like you want to say something.
I mean, I'm thinking about those fifth grade boys sitting there being like blasting us, you know, like take that, you know, and they do it and they don't
Yeah.
realize that it's coming out. And, you know, I
That
don't know,
is
like
also,
how quiet it is when Dr. C administers this, you
Yeah.
know, thing that probably factors in a lot. Or if like walking to the library, you know, they were told to stop talking and keeping their hands to themselves, and they were just like,
but I
you know,
think that,
Yeah.
Tangi, I think that climate score from the kids is from 24. That student engagement is actually, I don't think it's our current one, because one of the thing with the KPI, it has 25 data on it, but it also has 24 because the state has not released the climate data for CCRPI yet.
so the
So,
year we were in the STEAM building.
yes, your
The
last
year I
year's a
taught
fifth.
fifth grade. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they probably blasted us.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure they did. They probably gave it to us.
But
And
I think, you know, we did some work around the Gallup a couple years ago, and it's what we really did was to really understand the questions and what they meant. Because some people are answering those questions and they're mad at APS for something, you know, or they're bitter about something. And we really did a lot of work around what the question was asking, and, you know, what the implications were for the answers for our school. So I think it'd be definitely some work to do around the kids about reviewing what these questions are and what they mean. And I think even prior to that, like, you know, especially for this specific one, it's talking about, let me pull my screen up. Second, y'all. It's the percentage of students feeling comfortable going to most or all of the adults in the school for help. So, I mean, you know, that is something that we definitely can do work around, and even just like in counseling lessons and in classroom in SEL about, you know, students and who they do feel comfortable with and who are the people in the building they feel comfortable with coming to for help. So I do, Lauren, agree with you that there's work that we can do around that. We can set a goal around that for sure.
Allison,
also,
oh, sorry.
making sure it's read aloud to, you know, students who need it, read aloud to them.
Yeah, we need to make sure
you
that's
know, making sure that's happening, because I think that too. But also, like you said, with understanding the questions, like I remember when, you know, the students, I'm engaged with my learning. Well, every day they're not going to be engaged. They're not going to be totally entertained, you know, and
understanding that engaged doesn't necessarily mean that you're liking it.
Do you
yes.
all get the questions that the kids get? Do we know the
Public.
questions?
Yeah,
that-
they're public. Yeah, they're
Oh,
all
okay.
public. Yeah, they're public, so we can look at them beforehand.
Okay.
And you got, you know, the same with parents. Like you can look at the questions before you answer them, and
Okay.
they are public. So
And I'm glad that you guys, that Andy, that you brought that up, because I remember sometimes in years past, the kids asking me after it was over with, what did this question mean? Because they
Yeah.
didn't really understand the question. And if you don't know what it is, you're not giving it a high score. And so I remember several cases like that. I wish I could remember the questions, but I
Yeah.
remember explaining it to it, and the kids will be like, that's not what I thought it was.
it's like the Gallup question: do you have a best friend at work?
Yes.
You know,
yes.
like, and that like your best friend at work may not the person that you're going to call and tell them everything about your personal life, but it's the person that you go to at work that you can rely on and that you can vent to if you need to. So, you know, explaining those questions even to adults is sometimes very beneficial.
Yeah, and I think the word engage, because I remember there was a kid who said, do I want to marry learning? No. And I'm like understanding what the questions are, I remember is a
Right.
big thing.
That's
That is
funny.
hilarious.
We're not trying to get engaged to our learning.
Yeah.
Just cute. That's really cute. All right. So when we meet again, I will have, and I can, once I write it, I can even just send it out to you guys and then we'll have it for the next meeting, a goal around that. Sound good to everybody? Any
Thank
other feedback?
Good.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Mhm. All right, here's a little quote the Go Team office put in here. Strategic planning will help you fully uncover your available options, set priorities for them, and define the methods to achieve them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Go Team.
Okay, so we will now move on to information items. First, and I think only, is the principal's report.
Yes, because we did not have any public comment.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only update I really have is that we do have a kindergarten teacher who is retiring on Halloween, and we have hired a new kindergarten teacher who will begin on Monday, October 27th. And she will be able to be with that teacher all next week to kind of just, you know, learn the kids, learn the already structures and routines that are in the classroom. We're really excited about her. I really was, to be honest with you, not very optimistic that we were going to find, you know, a Jackson teacher at this late in the school year, but we are very fortunate. We actually had 3 really good candidates. So I'm excited. I think she's going to be awesome. So that is all I have.
That's great.
Is it common, or, and I don't want to get into personal individual circumstances, and I don't know who's retiring, but is it common to have mid-year retirements, or is that something?
You know, I mean, I think things happen and people have things going on in their life. So we haven't had somebody retire like this in, you know, the beginning of the school year since I've been here, but I mean, I know it happens, you know, I know it does. So.
Okay, and it's normal course of business when it does happen.
I mean,
Got
it wasn't
Okay, okay.
it wasn't the intention. But it's just, you know, life circumstances. And this teacher has given 30 years. So she's been a public school teacher for 30 years and 20 years at Jackson. So
Can
something
we
to
do
celebrate.
for the PTO communications, we should celebrate and do a recognition.
Oh yeah, I'll work
of
with
service.
PTO. Yeah, for sure.
And then also, Miss Atwell, just when you're ready to announce who the new teacher is, it would be great to do a little splash on that as well.
Yeah, I've got all that. I already announced it to the parent, so I can send it to
okay.
Izzy. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Izzy's not just a Go Team chair. She's also the PTO PR lady.
Putting on my other hat right now. Then I'm gonna take it off again.
I'll send it to you for sure.
Thank you.
Maybe when she starts on Monday too, I can snap a picture of her or something.
That'd be awesome. Yay, I'm happy about that.
Actually, we have a new teacher, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the last meeting, but I should. We also have a new special education teacher in our inclusion pre-K class that's amazing as well. So I'll give you information on both of them.
That's awesome.
Yes.
He's a carpool, right? In the morning?
It's not a man, it's a
Oh, it's not a
woman.
man. Oh, okay. I'm thinking about somebody else. Okay.
I think you're thinking of a newer paraprofessional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
All right. Izzy, you got anything to update us?
Yeah, yes, no. So no updates more recently since a couple weeks ago on the comprehensive facilities plan. Hopefully everybody saw the latest scenario on Jackson, which proposed no boundary redrawing, but still included consolidation to main campus. So that's where it is at the moment. I think the board is still listening to feedback, opinions. Obviously, we all got together at Jackson several weeks ago to share additional feedback and just thought starters with the board. So hopefully they're taking all that into account. And no specific word on timing or primary campus repurposement. I haven't heard anything of that nature, and Paul and Aaron had no updates from the task force either. So kind of a no update, but I'm sure as we hear, we will share.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Does anybody have, were there any other pages, Ms. Atwell, on the principal's report? I think that was it.
No, do you see the next slide?
I'm looking.
The update.
I'm juggling. No, just public comment.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, there we go.
Okay,
That's it.
so
Questions?
no public comments,
No comment.
questions, any announcements?
Well, this is Natalie again. I still have concern about the rate at which people are flying down Mount Perrin, and I've watched some just uncomfortable situations. Is there anything? How can we call police? Even if you have a police officer,
I sent an email today to Keith Sumas, who is one of the safety and security head people. I don't know exactly what his title is. He's reaching out to Atlanta DOT again to see about the Atlanta Public Schools request about putting in some speed humps or some traffic tables. And I think that's what they're called, traffic tables. And then also he was going to contact and put in a request with Atlanta Police Department about, coming out more frequently and being on Mount Perrin during arrival to just, hopefully slow it down when they see the police and to hand out tickets as necessary. But those of you that live in this neighborhood, I would just encourage you to put things on Nextdoor, spread the word as much as possible. Obviously, I wish I had control over the people driving like maniacs down Mount Perrin, but I do not. So.
yeah, I think having an officer just intermittently, that would be the most effective thing. Just because I've never, except for that one time we had them, the APS or the police department hasn't ever enforced that, ever. So even if just once in a blue moon, there's someone there.
Yeah, we put in the request, and
Yeah.
You guys obviously are citizens of Atlanta, so you can also maybe make requests to your city councilman or all of those types of things. But yeah, we obviously we live in a big city, and sometimes zone 2, which is what comes over to us, and I think their precinct is off far. They're busy because Buckhead is a bustling place with lots of things going on. But Keith, I got an email today from one of the PTO presidents, and I immediately sent it over, and he immediately responded. So, and hopefully, I really am going to push when or if we are consolidated, that we really have to push the DOT to put some things on Mount Perrin to help with traffic flow and for the speeding. So
yeah,
it's a
that's
work in progress.
Totally the point I was going to bring up is if we have several hundred more families, children at that campus, something is going to have to give because, you know, from
Yeah.
a parking, traffic, everything standpoint.
Yeah,
it's
for
long.
sure.
And I'm
Okay.
sorry, I should know this because I drive it every day. Or do we already have those blinking lights? Like,
Yes.
is it a school?
We have
different-
it.
Is it a different speed limit during that time of day? with
25.
blinking lights?
Yeah.
25,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they need to be red. They're yellow. I feel like they need to be red. But in my neighborhood, because I live in Morningside, you know, Johnson Road, which is Virginia Highland, turns into Johnson, people speed down it, and they actually just put in a four-way stop, and it really has helped. So I don't know if they need to look at, you know, some of these arms to Mount Perrin, putting an additional, you know, stop, because it's just this windy road that you can speed down. You've got that one little light, and that's kind of it until you get to 75. So it feels like there could be some sort of transportation assessment to see what all could be put in place besides just speed humps to slow things down.
Yeah, there was a counter out there. I saw it on the road for like a week.
Yep, right by my house. Close to 75.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. So.
Okay, guys, any other announcements at this time? This is also the time when we're supposed to be making everybody aware of other important dates, events, things going on at school. And I just want to call out Fall Festival happening next month on the 15th, just because that's a great community event. So from a neighborhood standpoint, from you know, potential prospective families standpoint, please share that and invite everybody to the event, because I think it'll be fun to get our community together.
Izzy, were you able to send something out to, like, I think Kelly King was gonna maybe give something to the preschools.
Yes, and she's also working on, she was working on tour communications as well, like just as a together. Obviously we're changing some things about the tour, so we took a pause, and then next week we'll get back on that, but we're gonna have a call tomorrow to just update the tour team on new dates and all that jazz.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. And then our next meeting is November 20th at 3 p.m. So make sure that's on your calendars. And don't be scrambling for the Zoom dial-in like I was at 2:59 today. Okay, so we've reached the end of our agenda. Any additional business at this time? Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Lauren Jones, motion.
Thank you. A second?
Jill McDougall, second.
Thank you. All in favor, please raise your hand. Say aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
Aye.
guys.
Have a great afternoon. Thanks,
Bye. You
everyone.
too.
Wait,
See
all
ya.
opposed, hold on. All opposed, please raise your hand.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, no opposed. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. Okay, no abstentions. The meeting is adjourned.